Welcome. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing of Mini Rogue, published by Nuts Publishing. So down at the table, this is an old school dungeon crawler for 1 to 2 players. So taking a look on the back, you see the player count for ages 14 and up, and games last about 30 minutes. Inspired by roguelikes and old school dungeon crawler video games, Mini Rogue is an engaging solo or 2-player game that will immerse you into the depths of the dungeon. Every level is randomly laid out, each encounter plays out differently, and of course, death is final. So let's take a look at everything in here. Let's slide this off. So up top, we've got our rule book. That is 28 pages long. So opening upside or inside, we've got the object of the game. It's a solitary cooperative game. You play as an adventurer, delving into a dungeon room after room and floor after floor in order to find the Og's Blood, a fabled and mysterious artifact rumored to be a ruby gemstone. So you win the game if you can reach the last room of the dungeon and defeat the final boss monster. So going over our setup and showing you how everything should look after you've set the game up. Then more detail on our dungeon mat, character mat, dice overview, going through the turn sequence, how you do skill checks, combat and feats, then different effects and potions, XP and levels, character classes, the anatomy of our cards, and monster and boss cards. We've got traps, tombs, bonfires, merchants, and treasure, along with some shrines, then reference cards for ghost and rewards, and into the game. And then talking about the co-op rules. So combat stance is a card variant, and then there is a campaign mode, in addition to just playing one-offs. So going through that, so that's our rule book. Then we have a quick reference sheet, just going over setup, turn sequence, iconography, and the combat phases and effects. Then we get into our components. We've got our dice, just some D6s. So we've got our regular hero dice from 1 to 6, 1 being an X, meaning a miss. 5 and 6 are what we're looking for successes. Then we have some dungeon dice here, some cursed dice, and looks like some bleeding, something bad going on there. Then we've got our markers. So wooden cubes to track all of our stats, and 2 meeples, since this can be played with up to 2 players. Then we've got some character markers for 4 races, so nice thick cardboard there to punch out. And I guess blind on the other side. Then we've got our character sheets. Just going over our XP. So you can see we get additional dice at level 2 and 3. Got our armor, which we can take up to 4. Hit points, food, gold, and different potions we can have. So we've got 2 of those. Then on the back side, got a tree. So for the campaign mode, leveling up for exploration, survival, and combat, and some relics. Then we have our dungeon side. So we're going down different floors. So once you go through each level, you go to the next one, and wherever this symbol is when we have a boss monster. Track our monster HP on this side, and then on the tower, we're working our way up. And then onto our cards. So here's all our components laid out. So we'll go through our cards here, starting first with our variant combat stances. So if you go an aggressive stance, you'll miss on X's or 1s and 2s. Normally it's just the X's. You'll crit hit on 5s and 6s, normally just 6s. So then you have your balanced, then you have your defensive, giving you +1 armor. So you've got one of those reference sheets for each player. Then for classes we can play as, we've got the rogue, starting with 10 health, 5 money, and 3 food, and there's special abilities they'll get. So after you use one of your abilities, you'll flip this over until you go through your next level, when you can flip them back over to get your ability back. Then we have a priestess, 13 health, 2 gold, 3 food, and starts with a holy potion. Special abilities there. Then the Crusader, 10 health and armor, 4 food, and special abilities. And we have our Mage, 11 health, 3 money, or gold, 4 food, and perception, and special abilities. Then moving on to our floors. Start with some monsters you can fight. So depending on what level of the dungeon or castle you're on, let you know which monster you're fighting, how much health, depending on 1 or 2 players, damage they'll cause, and reward and XP for defeating. So we've got to that monster. Then this one, like I said, just have a picture, your different monsters per floor there. Then from the mutant fly to the ancestor spirit, then we have some traps. Rolling dice to let you know which trap you'll be facing and whether failure or success, what will happen. Several different traps there. Then treasures. And you know what you can find in here. A bonfire. Some nice events. An armory. A crow. Corridor. Little tomb. A damp cave. Empty shelter. A merchant. Hunter. And a shrine. So those are rooms you can find. Then our boss monsters, we've got the ghoul. Once again, just letting you know which level you're on, health, damage dealt, and XP you'll get back. So all these are just going to go to 3 because your final boss is always going to be the same. So we've got a King's Protector, the ghoul, Cursed Dragon, Spider Queen, and then the final boss, the Aug's Remains. Going over that, so you've got 2 phases, so you've got to defeat him twice. Then lastly, we have a reference card for ghosts and rewards. So that is everything in the Mini Rogue game. As always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.